So, Dr. She, here's the deal. Science is complicated. Supplements are complicated. Jinfiniti Precision Medicine has found a way to make it not so complicated. But I'm going to ask you a question that I get all the time from my Hollywood, Malibu friends. They're spending a lot of money getting NAD infusions, IV, blah, blah, blah. So I just want to ask you one question for the purposes of today's, we'll call it an interview. Do those IV NAD drips work? And if not, if they do, how do they work? If they don't, why don't they? What can you tell us about this? Because I get calls about this all the time.
Well, it's a more complicated question than you think. I'll give you a not so direct answer because IV NAD does work for certain indications. For example, for certain neurological conditions and even addictions, or some of the infectious diseases. However, NAD IV infusion does not increase your NAD level inside the cells. So for longevity purposes, for performance purposes, even just for wellness purposes, you really have to boost your NAD levels inside the cells. For that purpose, IV infusion does not work at all.
So let me just be clear. So if someone's thing is, if they're in recovery and it's an addiction issue, then NAD infusions are probably a pretty okay thing to do.
Yes.
And why is that? Because is it a feel-good thing?
No, it's not a feel-good thing because they are what we call them receptors on the surface of neuronal cells. And NAD can change how the cells communicate. And when you put NAD inside of the vein, and the NAD can bind to its receptor on the surface, cell surface, and change how cells function. And it can really provide a clinical benefit in very specific clinical situations.
Okay, great. Now, so if recovery addiction is not an issue, if it's about longevity, mental focus, energy, better sleep, all that good stuff, intracellular, and I see you've got a sign behind you, intracellular NAD test. So there's intracellular NAD and intercellular?
Well, we call it extracellular, outside of the cells.
Okay.
Or we call it circulating NAD when it's in the blood, because NAD in the blood can go all over the body. So that's why we use the term circulating NAD.
And your product, Jinfiniti Boost, optimizes circulating NAD?
The NAD, our Vitality Boost, which is an NMN based formulation, can increase NAD inside of the cells and also outside of the cells. So we boost both intracellular NAD and circulating NAD. For most of the longevity purpose and wellness purposes, you really have to get your intracellular NAD up, because the most important functions of NAD are occur inside the cells.
And I'm going to just throw in my 2 cents worth here, because I know people that have taken some supplements, NAD supplements, that are very expensive. They were on subscription programs for years. And I know that when they got your intracellular NAD test, their levels were very low. So I'm going to just speak to the fact that Vitality Boost absolutely doesn't move the needle a little bit. It optimizes. And that's kind of your distinction, isn't it?
Well, there are two distinctions. One is, on average, the Vitality Boost can increase the NAD level by over 100%. If you look at other product, the published data indicate that on average, those products, the best ones, only increase NAD by about 40%. More importantly, the other products that have been published only increase NAD level for about 30% of the users. Our product can increase the NAD to the optimum range for about 80 to 90% of our customers.
Wow. And my intent here isn't to have you do a commercial for your product, nor is it yours, but I did want to get clear about this whole thing about the IV infusions. And most importantly, regardless of what product people are taking, if they want to know if it's been working, forget your product, forget any other product. If they just want to know if something's been working or if their levels are low, there's only one place they can go to get it tested, and that's through Jinfiniti Precision Medicine.
Yeah. Jinfiniti Precision Medicine offers the first and still the only NAD test available to consumers. And most people come to us for the testing purposes. And I must say that you really have to test. And whether you use our product or other vendors' product, the only way to find out is through testing. And if you don't test, you don't know the outcome.
And I saw on your website, don't guess, test. Thank you, Dr. She.
Absolutely. Thank you.